Why do I get involved in that project? Because life made it happen, I think. I came here San Francisco last year, and then through private connections I met Michel, and then I had the thought at one point that Michel could join the project I was working on with Moise already, with Mexican community, had nothing to do with faith. And Michel, knowing I was going to be in town, asked me if she knew me, she knew my job. She asked me if I could give a workshop in the school. That's how the first time I came here. And then I thought after to bring Michel in our project here, out of the school. And then that worked perfectly. And then we became friends, and we started to talk about our work, artistic and pedagogic work, because I'm a student, I'm a teacher like her, with kids, but younger kids from 8 till 19, 20. So, and then I thought they could be nice, they meet each other with Moise, Michel and Moise. And okay, that's how life made it. Now I'm here.
So in the project, a lot of the dancers talk about using some of their own work and then that being incorporated into the whole. How much of the work is suggested by you, and how much do they develop on their own?
I suggest really simple process at the beginning, just asking questions to the people. Questions who I would like to have an answer, even for myself, when I look around me. And if I try to be not close to that, but if I want to be aware of what's going on, and that maybe I can in my work speak from this, what I see, what I feel around me, at different scale, my basic scale, little scale, how I can expand this to have a kind of to give a kind of response towards what's going on. So then I give some impulse, and I give some impulse to the group who I work with, and then they give me some material by giving me answers or doing little things, little stuff, which like this could look very like nothing or not important. But if my job at one point is to bring, maybe made out of those little shiny like a puzzle, to make a puzzle and to recreate it, a world or universe on the stage or time, and to, because of the tool, with the tool of the stage, with the tool of movement, of what I know from choreography, what I know from theater, what I know from people, from my experience, how do I get to an artistic purpose? This is half-half.
So a major theme in Awaiting Dawn is Greek tragedies. Does that influence your process in the workshop?
Yes, that influence, just that I know that at one point in the other group with who I work, there is a group which is going to focus very much on the Greek tragedy and develop a work around the text. And from this I try, and about war especially, so I try me as counterpoint to that project with the ancient text, Greek text, to work with another group, which we call the chorus, and then we try to see how now in San Francisco in 2013 or 14, now the people we are, what kind of eye we have on this theme. How do we have enough, how do we create space and sense?
So a lot of your work deals with the individual's relationship with the group. How do you make that symbiotic relationship work?
Between the people from the group, or between the group and me?
Between each member of the group and the group as a whole.
It happens.
It happens?
Yeah, it happens. By things are coming out which are totally unplanned, because I give a lot of freedom for the answer, and then sometimes you see things happen, make it nice, or makes a kind of relationship at one point.
What is it like to use your body as art and to influence other people to use their body as art as well?
The body can be just seen as the body as legs, arms, head on top, but it's like what it's looking like. But the body is too a very secret thing. Everybody has his own body, has his own world inside, and his own sensitivity, his own objectivity, his own judgment, his discipline. I mean, it's a lot of wanting to do things, and everybody has this in itself. My purpose when I work here is to show, to make my body work inside and outside the best, to make the thing going on, to show a good example, to show I have to work, to if I want to teach people how to work, or to see how I consider work, what work is for an artist, how is it to work, what it is to work. It's just by being there and working, I show how I work, and I take who wants to follow me, follows me. And I have the feeling that's, because I'm a pedagogue and I teach children, I think that's the best solution to work, me, myself, at the right place, at the right spot, and on the right purpose. So to have a lot of consideration towards the people I work with.
So why do you choose to work with children as opposed to professionals?
I didn't choose, it happened too a little bit like this, that I was offered to work in a school with children, and I started since now 6 years. Before I was a professional artist working with Pina Bausch, and then I was freelance for about 12 and 13 years, working around and making projects with a lot of adults. And then suddenly I got offered to work in a school with kids, and I said, why not? I didn't know that, I want to know what it is, and I discover how it's the future. So for me, I like to work with adults, but I learn so much working with kids, because there is still a lot of freedom, naivety, or you can still sculpture, make like a sculpture.
So you've done a lot of work internationally.
Yes.
Is this project unique within the international community, or is it a piece of a larger puzzle?
No, it's a piece of a larger puzzle. I met many different cultures and people, so I like this because for me it's another challenge, and the culture makes that the people who are from this or that culture have this different response. Sometimes they have at one point the culture influences the answers, but at one point too you see that all the people are the same somehow. There are something which are over the frontiers, over the continents. Even if in Japan it's very much different, like in San Francisco, and it's totally different with what I can find in Africa or in Russia. At one point things are the same, I think.
Working with children allows to make greater connections before their minds have become set in their cultures?
I don't want to influence too much the minds by telling things. I want just experience things. And when the kids go through, when you go through an experience, you get something out of that experience. I don't just want to create situations or create moments where the kids experience things on the stage or in the studio, and where because the body is working, the body has its own memory. There is the memory here, the brain memory, but the body has a memory too. The body keeps a lot of information. So if I can give them the opportunity to have nice experiences on stage, sharing with people, moving the body free, or knowing what the body is doing, using it as a tool, artistic tool, then for me I consider it's already a big step.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Welcome.
That's great.